Now comes a really interesting sutta for everyone's life, actually, for all these moments when you have wondered about a certain recurring situation in your life or a certain pattern that you exhibit, and where you were actually trying to get rid of it or change it or alter it, but have seen that it is sort of recurring. And this sutta is so interesting because it says, we have learned in the previous sutta that all appearances, everything basically that is in this field of experiences, everything that is within the contents of the mind, is there for consciousness, is there for awareness. And this sutra says that once an appearance has fulfilled its purpose for awareness, for consciousness, it will cease to appear for you. Even though for others that this is still relevant, it will still appear. So once something is actually has fulfilled its purpose for consciousness, has become fully known, known in a way that is relevant for you to get to know, then it will cease to appear. It means that people might just leave your life. It means that certain situations will not reoccur. It means that diseases or, illnesses that you have had just disappear. It means that other situations or other things that you were really invested in also just leave your life. Even though for other people, these exact situations, conflicts, problems, ideas, self-assumptions, kind of relationships might still be relevant. So once something has fulfilled its purpose for you in your life, it will just cease to appear. And this has a broad range because, again, remember, you are consciousness. And from the viewpoint of consciousness, all that exhibits itself as this world is just an appearance. So it can pertain to anything, even a sickness, an illness, something that is an ailment to you, something that causes suffering, or is just something that is a problem for you, might actually be gone once it has become fully known, it has become fully seen, it has become fully understood, once it has fulfilled its purpose. And sometimes it is simply by allowing more awareness into a situation, into a into a into a certain disposition, also into a certain thing, or also by the clarity that comes from knowing all is an appearance. It sounds really hard, but sometimes even diseases can be found to be only a thought within awareness, and to be not even necessarily yours, not even for this focal point. can also just be something that's mirrored or something that is exhibited through you because you are non-separate, because of the non-separate reality that we actually all are. So that's when there are also miracles or sudden changes in life. And that's why many people, when they are on a sincere awakening journey, sincere spiritual awakening is always to you as consciousness. It is the stepping away from the world of appearances. And as you do this, there is this acceleration usually that happens also to your life. There's just a lot of things will be very quickly seen. Sometimes we as these human beings, we need years to understand something. But once you get back into the vastest space of awareness, there is a quickening. It's way faster. Things can be understood way faster. Things can be illuminated way faster. Things can be understood from a bigger or vaster vantage point. And also there's a capacity there to to suddenly come from a different perspective, or just from a no mind perspective that doesn't hold its positioning, and suddenly things fall off or fall away, or things are suddenly seen that you as the person never saw like this before. Simply because, as the person you are in your conditioned mind, you come from the memories you have, you come from the knowledge you have, you come from the parameters that you have encountered as this mind body construct. You don't come from a vaster perspective. And so you are sort of always within the same framework. Coming to know yourself again as consciousness means leaving the framework completely. And so you can as suddenly there's a sudden peace that is you, or a happiness or a joy that's undisturbed and not attached to anything. And things can simply arise and be there without causing the same kind of disturbance or agitation, even in the mind. And that's often when things can really shift, because then there is just this openness to whatever is arising. And through that, oftentimes also just a completely a shift of perspective that suddenly sees things from a wider field, or from someone else's eyes, or from from another person's mind. And so it's such a relevant sutra, because as you abide in awareness, especially for all of you that are practicing and that are going sort of back and forth between practicing beingness, practicing abiding, and then feeling somehow back into your focalized point of view, to have this understanding that first of all your journey is perfected and perfect exactly as it is. in every moment already, and to know that whatever is arising, and whenever you feel you are again back into your distinct viewpoint, it is also for this experience, for yours and for everyone else in it. It's for that. And that this will also dissolve once its purpose is fulfilled. The purpose can be the experience as such, but oftentimes it is also the learning. The learning, again, for everyone involved in this. The and the greater learning that comes out of a distinct situation. And the learning, especially as you widen yourself back into awareness or into your boundless nature, into what you are, it also implies you're widening yourself back into your non-separate nature. And there's a lot that you have never experienced as the person. And there's a lot that opens up to you by this viewing beyond the veil. And this is also something that then has to be informed by a deeper recognition, actually, of our shared essence, and a deeper recognition of what it is that is occurring. So there is a distinct learning. Everything that arises is for consciousness, again, for everyone, and for everyone's distinct learning. Even if you are realized or awake, you will still have experiences. These experiences are then also different because they're more strongly informed by what you actually are. But even the endless understanding of our boundless nature, it has no end. And even then, you will have to continuously actually understand from a different vantage point, from a different realization of what you are. And luckily, this is also informed. This is always, there is no more so much mental trying, or mental, like how the personal construct is continuously trying to figure things out, figure out why this is happening, figure out what's the cause for it, figure out what to do better, figure out how to solve something, figure out there's a lot of thoughts that are continuously involved actually around daily living and daily situations. And this is different. This is different when you are awake, because um, there are just much less thoughts around all these self assumptions all the time, all these constructed ideas of self. And also you are just informed. You are informed by that, and it also informs your wisdom. Your not just the wisdom of what you are, but also the wisdom of what is occurring, how to respond or not respond, or it's just all done. by itself without a constant need for a personal evaluation or a personal mental idea of what is now best. But this, I always found that this is such a pivotal sutra and so relevant for many people's lives that just uh, that are just wondering why is something occurring. Obviously, also sometimes karma or something that needed to be opened to and needed to be understood from a different vantage point. And and that then also just these situations and people and etc. Once it has fulfilled its purpose, also if people or ideas of self or jobs, whatever it is, if it has fulfilled its purpose for you, sometimes you look back and you understand this. You understand this about your past relationships. You understand this about friendships. You understand this about your jobs. If something has fulfilled its purpose or is simply really done, then it won't arise anymore. It's not, there's no, it is as if it's really let go then. And there's no resistance to it. There isn't a back and forth. It is simply what is. It is simply no longer necessary. And the more also, because that's also very relevant, I feel, for a lot of people that are on this spiritual awakening journey or interested in non-duality and abiding as beingness or meditating a lot. Um, there's also just that a lot of patterns just leave you. There's just desires will leave you. A lot of the things that seem so normal in our world today, just so unquestioned, what what is necessary, whether we need to be on. It's not just whether we need to be on social media, but also, for example, this whole structure of validating one another's egos continuously. All these kind of unquestioned things that we cling to almost because we are so afraid of certain things, like having a time in your life in which you are more indrawn, or you're not so social, or whatever it is. It just falls away. There is no more. uh, if it isn't important for you, if it isn't valuable for consciousness, if it isn't actually purposeful for you, then it 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 loses this whole um, it loses this whole weight, this whole weight that's carried around, that what is necessary for you, how you have to be, what it has to be like as a spiritual person. um, the kind of stereotypes you have of someone awakened, all these kind of things, they're just illuminated by this immense force that you actually are. And a lot of it is just seen as is absolutely redundant, or just also so false, just so unnecessary, and also not truthful, not actually not actually single pointed, not actually this or that, doesn't matter. It there is no more, there will be no more, no more desire. There will be no more prompting. It just falls off. Not in a negative, again, you find something that is inherently content, inherently happy, inherently at peace. That's already you. That's already in you. It's just that this dimension of self is still so rarely discovered and so rarely spoken about and so rarely made clear to you that this is a part of you. So I'm not talking about becoming depressed and sitting at home and being miserable, and that's why you are sort of like certain patterns are no longer interesting for you. It's not like this. It's just that there is a contentment that is you, that is already present. And from this contentment, from this fulfillment, from being fulfilled in yourself, as yourself, you see that a lot of structures that we hold up in our society, a lot of ideas that we have, are based actually on a sense of lack, are based on trying to get happiness from someone else or from this or that. It isn't pure. It doesn't really come from truth. And as awareness is more and more again allowed to be you, which you already actually are, but just also this decision for it, you will see that a lot is just you have never seen things, even objects sometimes, or structures, social media, etc. You suddenly it's as if literally someone has taken away the shutters from your eyes. You see minds, you see so many things, but also you see so many of our structures that are not not bad necessarily, because you can make out of it what you want, but that are no longer necessarily relevant for your journey as you are awakening, as you are remembering yourself. And so remember this, that if something is showing up in your life, if something is there that's challenging for you, whether that's reoccurringly challenging, whether that's a disease or a certain pattern or a certain thing, then there is something in it for you and for all the other people that are somehow involved in this situation, in this, there's a collective level of learning often involved in that. And as soon as this is somehow seen or experienced enough, or having been known to you or completely understood, it will cease to appear for you. Even though for others, that this topic, this pattern, this wish for a certain, this desire, the soul's desire for a certain experience, for example, might still be relevant for them. Its sutra says, for them it will continue to exist until even they have understood this. But for you, it will cease to appear. So whenever you are still drawn into certain things, there's something still for you there to know, for consciousness to know through you distinctly, to understand something very distinctly through your experience. And in that way, it holds relevance. And once it is done, it is truly done. So open yourself to what is happening, what is there, what even maybe to not understanding, or to the resistance, or and hold it all in the spacious awareness that you are, and don't even respond to your personal mental responses. See what happens then when there is this just this opening to what is, to what is present. Then things move quicker. You will see things move much faster, than they are no longer bound in the same time dimension even than it was before. So very, very, very helpful sutra for life is this 222. Namaste.